Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here, and the book that I am most interested in this week is Batman Offworld by Jason Aaron and Doug Mahnke. It's Jason Aaron's second fling at DC Comics after being exclusive at Marvel for over a decade, and his first Batman story ever. A lot of times writers end up in a rut writing for one company for as long as Jason Aaron did, and if you listen to our Marvel podcast, you'll know that I got in a rut reviewing Jason Aaron's recent runs on things like Punisher, and especially that Avengers run that almost broke me. Hopefully, like Stella, Jason Aaron and myself will get our grooves back here with Batman Offworld. Let's see, and let's get into it.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Batman Offworld #1 is written by Jason Aaron, pencils by Doug Mahnke, inks by Jaime Mendoza, colors by David Baron, and there is no letter that I could find listed.
How dare you?
Oh my goodness, how dare they do that? Batman Offworld opens in the Slag Galaxy, and while that might get a chuckle from some of the Brits out there, it's no laughing matter to Batman. A bunch of aliens are boarding his Bat rocket ship with the intent of capturing him, and then maybe even making him clean toilets on some Star Cruisers, right? This first part of the issue is actually pretty cool. It feels like a Predator comic with Batman as the Predator, and so you know that Sus Gabe is going to love it. Jason Aaron does a good job with Batman's inner monologue as he avoids capture until he doesn't. At first, it seems like the hero who prepares for everything was caught off guard, but in a cool twist, it was all part of the plan. The first thing that most people will see when reading this issue is actually how good it looks. Doug Mahnke's art is great, but a big shout out to David Baron's colors as well. I read things digitally, and this really popped on my tablet, especially because of David Baron's colors. Now, I don't want to spoil too much here, but as the story progresses, you go from wondering how Batman will defeat the aliens and get back to Earth to kind of shaking your head and laughing about how over-the-top crazy Batman is for just being there. There is a purpose to it all, and while this story isn't in current continuity, Jason Aaron dips back into the past and gives readers a clever peek at something that might have been. Pretty much a Batman Year One in space. Sure, if you've read a bunch of Jason Aaron stories, you know he loves doing this, going back and playing with a character's past, tweaking things, oftentimes changing stuff along the way. Pretty much Aaron being Aaron. And while that sort of thing usually drives me nuts, especially recently, it doesn't ruin anything here, yet. I have my fingers crossed, I really do, because it really does make a whole lot of sense coming through that idea of what Batman would have trained for and how good Batman is in certain situations where just a standard guy with a lot of money would really be, not so good at. So I really do like that. So if you're wondering, is this worth checking out? I say 100% yes, even for people like myself who has grown kind of sick of Jason Aaron's writing. It looks like coming to DC might have given them a little spark. I'm not going to say this is the most mind-bending story ever, but the issue looks fantastic. It has some good character work and a clever twist, a couple clever twists, and it's a lot of fun. And because of all that, I'm going to give Batman Offworld #1 a 9 out of 10. Just like Sus Gabe gave Predator, so it all works out, right? I mean, it really does. It goes full circle. Now, I look forward to the rest of the series, and with this, I'm actually looking forward to what Jason Aaron's going to do going forward at DC, including his next thing, which is that upcoming Bizarro story in Action Comics, though I still think DC is doing Philip Kennedy Johnson real dirty here by kicking him off of the Action Comics book before it seems that he has a chance to finish up his whole story. But hey, that's not anything to do with Jason Aaron, even though I do kind of like throwing shade at Jason Aaron. I'm not going to throw shade there. And actually, again, I was very impressed with this first issue. I had a lot of fun, and that's something that a lot of writers nowadays forget to do. So with all of that, I would love to hear from everybody else if you have read Batman Offworld #1. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and then we'll discuss it there. So thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.